Test. Oh yeah, we got some bars. Well, let's do this, shall we? What's going on, everyone? It's DC here, and tonight we're going to be going over some business process automations using Microsoft Power Automate. I've never really done too much in videos anyway on Power Automate. I've discussed it before, talked about it, and yeah, it's a pretty cool tool, to be completely honest. So I thought I'd get into this live stream and actually build some business process automations of some basic examples that I've used for various different clients. Now, I'm not going to go into like a super hard one, but the one I'm going to build, it will probably take me about an hour to an hour and a half. So yeah, that's pretty much what we're going to do. There is, I saw Fedora Rose just asking in the chat, isn't that the one that's on Microsoft Store? Yes, there is a version of it on Microsoft Store. It's the desktop app, but you do need to have an Office 365 subscription to be able to actually use this software. Now, in most cases, this software or automation flow type system is used to do exactly what I'm making this video for. It's to automate business processes that are otherwise repetitive or kind of annoying to do. So yeah, that's pretty much what it's all about. I'm just gonna turn the music down a bit because it's super distracting for me. All right, so yeah, that's basically what it is. Snipe, what's up? AO, Micken, Found It, Marga, DCY. You're probably asking why I just banned you from my Discord. It's because you broke the rule of being generally annoying. So congratulations, it's a select few people who have been able to break that rule. You are one of them. Congrats. All right, I also have on this stream a couple of other things that I'll talk about later. I do have a new scene which I've created, which is the casting couch scene. It's back by popular demand. It's not actually backed by any popular demand, but it was asked if I could create a separate camera scene just for the casting couch. So there you go. We have a casting couch scene. We've also got the desk scene, which is, the one that I actually use quite often to show you different stuff that I'm doing. And of course, this scene. Now, Bjorn wants to learn how to hack. We're going to learn about all sorts of business process hacking. My camera's over here. Business process hacking in this stream. It's going to be pretty fun. And yeah, let's get started. So I'll move this camera here. Here we go. So this is my, I'm going to get rid of this one actually. Events list, get that out of the way. It's going to cause problems. Now, to create a new flow, we click on new flow and then we'll go automated cloud flow. We'll call this flow something kind of basic maybe. Let's think of a flow that we can actually create first, that we can then create an automation for. So what's something that occurs often in your business or in your client's business that is really annoying and something that you have to do over and over again. A good example of this, and a very basic example of this, is a new user onboarding. This should be interesting because I don't have all of the information that I don't have all of the licenses actually to do the full thing that I want, but I'll give you a pretty good version of that, which is going to be pretty cool to see anyway. So let's get that going. We'll go when a form is submitted, we'll call it onboarding onboarding automation. Why not? I say Flow a lot because this used to be called Microsoft Flow. But yeah, now it's just called Microsoft Power Automate. All right, when a form is submitted. Now, we'll go here, we'll go forms.office.com. Now, I've probably got a few forms in here. I can't really remember what I've created in my test tenancy, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah, cool. Some random stuff. So new form, we'll call this form the onboarding form. Used for when a new staff member is onboarded into the company. Bjorn, Marga got banned for being generally annoying, if you're wondering. Anyway, so we're just going to have some text input fields here to keep it as basic as possible. So we'll go text form, we'll go first name. It's required. Next, text. Last name required. We'll go phone number. Text. S-Jar Menace. I can't stand this Aussie accent. That's a shame, man. You should potentially find another stream to watch then. First name, last name. We don't need to know the email address because it's going to create one for them anyway. Office location. So if there's more than one office location, obviously. Next one. Now this one can actually, it could be something different. It could be like a drop down. So I'll just do that. Add new choice. I think the drop down is here. Yep. Okay, so office location. Now Brisbane. There we go. It's pretty smart. Beautiful. Next one. Text. Manager. So this is, who is the manager going to be of this user? We'll start with that. We'll start with that as a simple onboarding form. And that should pretty much get us there. Onboarding form, cool. All right, so when a new response is submitted, we've got form ID onboarding form. We'll go new form, get response details, onboarding form. Response ID will be the response ID that is gathered from this first step as the response, right? You guys still with me? We're good? Good. Now, at this point, you can sort of like branch it out so that it feeds down into another system like a SharePoint list or somewhere else as a backup. But Forms does have a list of, like, you can see the responses in there as well. So I don't really need a SharePoint list for it to go into, but sometimes that is useful for people to come into and find out. So I'm just going to leave it as it is there. So we're going to start creating some extra bits in here that are a little bit more fun. So we've got the response. We're now going to create a condition. And I might change this because I'm just sort of thinking of this on the fly, because this is, you know, I have created one before, but they're always different based on each of the business's needs. So, you know, just keep that in mind. I'm kind of thinking of this on the fly at the moment. All right, so if, for example, the office location is equal to Brisbane, then yes. Actually, before, yeah, I knew this would happen. I knew I'd get ahead of myself. We'll delete this condition. Yeah, it doesn't matter. New step. Now there's an Azure user. I'm trying to remember. Azure something. Azure AD. All right, here we go. Create user. I'll sign in. Just in case it brings up my email address, I'll move that across. Oh, multi-factor, why do you do this to me? All right. Oh, yeah, excuse me. Sorry, I sneezed directly into my microphone. That would have deafened half of you. Very sorry. All right. Account is enabled. Yes. Display name is going to be first name space last name. The mail alias nickname is going to be first name space last name. The password is going to be last name and let's say submission time. It'll give them that way. It'll give them a generic password, a generic password sort of. So it's like going to be their last name, but it's going to be whatever the time it was submitted at. So it's different for each person. Yeah, I'm very sorry about that sneeze. It came out of nowhere and I didn't mean to deafen you all. The user principal name is going to be first name dot last name. And the user's first name, here we go. User's last name. It's pretty basic here. Oh yeah, that clock. Yeah, give me a sec. I'll reset the timer. There we go. 2 hours. Thanks for reminding me, Christian. All right. Now the business phone number we'll set as the phone number. The department, I didn't actually add that in, but that's okay. And the job title. So these are extra steps that I can add in. So I'll just split out my screen here so it's going to be a bit easier to do both at the same time. So we'll go choice, department. I want it to be drop down because I like drop downs better. So IT, HR, research, marketing, sales, management, admin. Yeah, that'll do. Oh, yeah, finance. Yeah, finance. Why not? They're probably the most basic ones in every organization. All right. Job title is just going to be a standard text field. Whoa. And it's required. Preferred language, I don't really care about. Office location is already in there. Sweet. Now to get that to actually load, it probably won't be able to find it that quick. So what we'll have to do is click save on this. Stephen Rose, what's up, dude? welcome to the live stream. We're having a bit of fun here tonight with Power Automate. All right, so create user, advanced options, which aren't actually advanced, they're just more options, but you know, whatever. Department is department, job title is job title, mobile phone is going to be phone, office location is going to be office location, and preferred language is going to be whatever the hell it needs to be. That it doesn't really matter, right? So we have when a new response is submitted to this form, which you can't really see because yeah, it's like over here, then the flow will get the responses from the submission of this response, and it will create a user, give them a first name, last name, password, which is different for each user because no one's going to be submitting on the exact same time. It'll set their department, job title, phone number, office location, and that's pretty much it. Now, a new step is a condition for creating, assigning the manager. So we'll call this condition assign manager, maybe. Okay, yep. And I'll just expand this so I can actually see it, because otherwise it gets a bit ugly. All right, so if manager did I make that a drop down? No, I didn't. I made it a text field. All right. I'm just reading the chat here. Is Christian a razor? Yes. Doxed. Sorry, bro. All right. We'll do the manager a different way. We can remove this and do a get manager. So this will then get the UPN of the user. Search fields, that's fine. Oh, it looks like my camera just died. Interesting. Yeah, payback for trolling. Oh, well, you guys can just look at a GoPro image then. That's cool. It's because I'm using a different dock thingy, and yeah, apparently it's not happy about it. It's all right. Bear with me a second while I try and fix my cameras and shit. I'll chuck it over here. Hey, there we go. Alrighty. Lesson learnt. Don't dox a razor. Is it dying again? Looks like it. Yeah. Oh well, the show must go on. I'll just get this camera out of the way so it's not annoying. There we go. Problem solved. All right. I'll figure that one out another day. Okay, so what we want to do here is get the manager and then new step. I think it's called assign manager, but I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's an Azure AD thing. Yep, there we go. So unique identifier of the user. So for that, we can go here and unique identifier of the manager. Is this manager? Get manager ID, yep. I think there is actually a UPN option in here. Yeah, there is. Cool. So the manager of that user. Now that's actually not going to work properly. Did I get a tip or something? What was that? 24. Bloody hell. Big spender over here throwing all the RON at me. That's crazy. I don't know how much time that's going to add on there, but that'll be interesting to see. Yeah, we're back over 2 hours. Cheers for the cash though, I appreciate it. It's kind of annoying that this feels like so impersonal because there's no camera. I can just like move over here and maybe get it, but I mean, it's kind of shit. Anyway, let's go back to the PC. All right. So this isn't actually going to work because it's only creating the user and it's not assigning a manager before getting the manager. So it's doing like a get manager. So it's going to get something blank and then it's going to assign the manager as nothing. So what we need to do is actually think of a way around this, which is going to allow me to assign the manager from the form that's been filled out. So we need to somehow match the manager field here into what would actually be in Azure AD. I'll see if I can go into my admin and see which users are in here and who I can actually create as a manager. I know I can create myself as a manager, but that's not going to be, that's not really what I want. I want it to be like as dynamic as possible. So I think here an easy way to get around this would be if it instead was a drop down again, but it's kind of cheating. I want it to be like the manager will pick up from my name, but I really don't think that's going to work. So it's going to have to be a drop down. We'll do it here, add new choice, drop down, manager, David Lee, Now I'll actually put in the email address here because I think that's going to work. Yeah, we'll go like that. That's going to be fine. So David Lee, other dude. All right. Now in this one, I'm going to have to save and refresh. Get response details, create user. Get manager from the ID. Cool, okay. So this step, assign manager. I need to get rid of this. And I need to get rid of this as well. Cool. So delete. So the user ID is that. The identifier of the manager is going to have to be a little bit tricky. I could do a really crazy condition here, but I mean, that'll work. So if manager is David Lee, so choose if manager is equal to David Lee, if yes, assign the manager, and we will need to get that user's, so David Lee's user account UPN, which you can get from there. Mad. Now, I kind of want some alerting off the back of this, which I'm going to do with Teams. So, for example, I want it to tell me that the manager has been assigned to this user. So I'm going to say send message as Flowbot or whatever it's called. Where is it? So that's not really useful. I don't really want it to be like that. What we could do is get the information from the manager. So go in here, get manager. And then the user's UPN. Oh, I need UPN. Yep. And then members to message can be enter user ID, email address. So we'll go with ID. This can just be you have a new staff member. Now let's make it a little bit more dynamic than that. Let's make it a bit more cool. Working under you. Cool. So that'll pretty much do it. Now, if no, then the flow has obviously failed. So I'll just terminate it if it goes to no. So status failed, failed on manager assign. That'll do. Now, what else do we want to add into this? What else is there in here that we can add in? Maybe we should try it like this and see if it sort of works. I think that would be better. I'll just go into Azure. I'll do a preview from here. All right, test, manually test. So we'll put it into test mode and we will create. So it's in test mode where it's basically looking to receive the data. We'll go into here and we'll go Bob McBobbin. Phone number is 042269666969. Office location is Brisbane. Department is HR. Job title basic bish. Put a few more H's on there. And the manager is going to be me. Cool. We'll click submit. Now, hopefully over here, it gets received and it flows through without any errors, but it didn't. So where's the error on here? So you can see that it's received all of the data. You can see the user principal name. The mail nickname is probably, yeah, it is. So that's where the error is. So that's okay. I can fix that up. We'll go, where's mail nickname? Put this back in as a dot. Click save. Now the good thing with flows, we can do a recently used trigger, and so you don't have to submit another flow again, and you can get it that way, which is kind of cool. User principal name, it didn't like that one. So where's that? Now I'm also curious if it is actually creating the user, because sometimes you'll find that it does actually go through even though it says it fails, which is, you know, the super fun of flow. So that's good, it hasn't. The main portion of the user principal is invalid. You must use one of the valid domain names. Oh yeah. So what was that? Under UPN. Right. I need to add in my domain name to the end. So it'll go firstname.lastname@datasec.co. Let's try again. We're going to see green. We're going to get pass. No, still failed. What did it fail on? No inputs on manager. That's interesting. Did I not change that field? If manager is equal to, and that's what the, where's the manager? David underscore, yeah, that's right. Should be right. Save, try again. I'm not sure if I changed this bit here previously from, it was set to some other random shit. So I think it was because of the other one that I had set on there previously before changing it. But we'll see, it might fail again on the exact same point. Now it's failing because the user already exists, which is annoying, but not the end of the world. Let's refresh this. Kill Bob McBobbin. We'll just go delete user. Just go delete user. Save, test. As you can probably tell by this thing, it's a lot of backwards and forwards of trying to get things to work and just seeing sort of how it works or sometimes just doesn't work. That's pretty much this whole process and why it takes such a long time to get it to work properly. So yeah, don't feel bad if it doesn't work the first time. It really never worries me. Because it never works the first time, so that's okay. I'm curious why this is not working. The execution template of assign manager skip branching, not satisfied. So there's no input from here. Interesting. Try it like that. I'll probably have to delete that user again. Resource, Bob McBob does not exist. What? That's interesting. So it kind of worked here, but it didn't, this time it didn't like the user UPN. Maybe it hadn't actually, I reckon I know what that might be. So I think what I need to do in here is put in a pause to let it think about it first. Because if I go to this user now, where are they? Bob McBobbin. So we've got the manager is there, the job title's there, the department is there. There's no company name or anything yet, but that's okay. So I reckon what happened in here is that it didn't wait long enough. Like it needs to pause for a second and just think about what it's doing before it processes through. Is it called pause? No, that's not it. The license I currently have assigned for myself is 365 Basic, Power Automate Free, Power BI Free, and Power Virtual Agents Trial. So they're just all the, basically they're the ones that come with 365 Business Basic. Yeah. So Power Automate is, and Forms and SharePoint are all part of Business Basic 365, the very basic profile that comes with it. I'm trying to remember what this thing is called. Is it called? Okay. We'll give it 30 seconds. All right, let's try that out. Let's delete this user. Go back to users. All good there, all good there. Test. Come on, baby. All right, so here we go. It's pausing before creating the thing. So we'll give it a sec. That might take 30 seconds for it to go through. And then hopefully after that, it will realize that there is actually a manager assigned. Hey, there we go. It found that there was a manager. It failed to send a message, which is okay. And that is because, I'll fix that now. That is because I didn't specify two different people in here. So I need to go ID of manager and then ID of user. Welcome to display name. Your manager is and is your first point of contact for any queries. And we'll get rid of all the other rubbish because it's just rubbish. Enjoy your first day and we hope to something. Doesn't really matter what I put in there, to be honest. Okay, save that. Mr. Apu says, is this business RPA? What do you mean, dude? Screenshotted, thanks. Yep. I mean, this is my own business, so you can, yeah, just have a look at it. And this is just as an example, so yeah. So we could test that again, but we know it works where it creates the account offer form being submitted. It doesn't assign any licenses to the user because we're only creating an Azure AD account here. However, if we go into active users, the account should actually show up in here as well, but it will show up as unlicensed. Now you can assign licenses automatically, but I would highly recommend not doing that because if there aren't enough licenses available in your tenancy, so if you don't have like spare licenses and you keep a fairly tidy shop like most people do, then having additional licenses is only going to cost money, and it's also only going to cause actual issues, which like you obviously don't want to have issues. I would assume so anyway. So yeah, I would probably leave that bit out entirely if it was me. But you can actually assign licenses to accounts if you really want. But yeah, like I said, that's up to you. So for anyone who's just joined into this and is curious what the hell's going on, we're just creating a basic business process flow to give an example of how to use Power Automate and sort of what it does and what you can use it for yourself in your own business and potentially with your clients as well, to try and help automate some of the processes that they have. So this is a basic onboarding flow that, like I said, it creates a user, assigns a manager, and fills in all of their information. Let's create a different automation. I'm happy to take some suggestions. If anyone has a suggestion for an automation that you'd like to see built, throw it into the chat and yeah, let me know what sort of flow you would like to see up on this screen. In the meantime, I'm trying to fix my camera real quick. Let's go with, seeing as no one's sort of replying at the moment, let's go with something like a sales, like a sales funnel could be good, or what other ones are good? Let's go with like a new user onboarding experience. Actually, we can add this to our onboarding automation. So the user account has been created, their manager has been assigned, and after the manager has been assigned, it has sent them a message saying, hey, welcome, whatever your name is, your manager is this, yada yada, basically. So that's a basic start of it. But what else that we could add to this? And there is, I'm pretty sure, a Powerapp that where's Powerapps? There's a Powerapp template that's completely free that you can set up as like a web page type thing that will let me just get this screen out of here. That will basically give them more information that they can fill in themselves. So let's just skip all this. Let's create a basic Powerapp from a template. You can see I've logged into this one really recently. Would you recommend Airtable as an alternative on Muter automation? Not for Microsoft stuff. Most of the good Microsoft automation things that you can do are actually in Power Automate or Powerapps. So being able to sort of build them from other stuff it's kind of tricky actually, because the connections just don't exist. But yeah. So there is that, there's onboarding tasks. There is another one, I'm trying to remember. Suggestions, no. I think it's this one. Yeah, whatevs. I just got to approve all the consent forms that it pops up. Christian says, got any idea on limits of this license? How many apps, users, or disk space? Limits of this license are that you don't get all of the Power Automate premium connectors. So you'll see if I go into here, there's premium ones. You don't get any of this cool stuff, any of the Dataverse stuff, which is really, really useful. you can't use any of that with the license I'm on. You have to actually buy the premium Power Automate license to be able to do those tasks, as well as like lots and lots of others. There's heaps of premium ones, like heaps and heaps. So yeah, you need to do those. You need the premium license. As far as storage things go, I don't think there's any storage limitations apart from the storage of your tenancy itself. And most of that, I'm pretty sure, is stored through SharePoint, but you may want to check out that, because I just fact check me on that one, because I'm not 100% sure. Limits on how many apps. I've never run into a limit with the apps, and I've probably created up to about 50 to 100 within each tenancy. And that's on mostly free. Not too many places that I've done stuff with have the full-blown premium app Power Automate thing going. So yeah, 50 to 100 I would say is safe bet, but I don't know if there is any limitation on there for sure. But if you're creating more than 50, chances are you're going to be having that premium subscription anyway. In which case, I mean, I'm sure there's more room to move with the premium subscription. Alrighty, so creating a Powerapp here, app setup. Let's search for, let's just play it. Let's see how this works. We'll go Bob McBobbin to add an admin user. No way. It's gonna be me. Get started, welcome to the team. Cool. So this is the basic version of this app. It gives you a list of tasks that you can do or should be doing as part of your onboarding procedure. So the benefit of this is that you can see here the Bob McBobbin, the basic bish with this number is reporting to me as a user. You can link it up to your Team Drive account, which is like your OneDrive or SharePoint OneDrive document library. Your Team Hub, which would probably be your SharePoint Team Hub, or your actual Teams Team Hub, and your Team Blog, which is either going to be SharePoint or Teams again. Company is going to be information about the company itself, who you should get in contact with, etc. You can change all of these to dynamic fields, and this is obviously just placeholder text that you can add in details about your company in there that you can change at any time. And there's all sorts of different links here that currently just go to Microsoft.com. The profile section here is just a basic profile about you. You can write an about you section, build your employee profile, and much more. It's the way I've seen this to be fairly useful before is to essentially have this pop up in the Teams chat. So as you've onboarded a new user, they've been sent a message on Teams, and it's with that message that it sent them, it says, hey, thanks for, joining this company, whatever. We love you so much. Here's something that you actually need to do now to complete your onboarding procedure. And you would have in here things like, please confirm your computer asset tag. Please write in an about me section. Please upload a profile photo for yourself. And this profile photo will then apply to Teams and your entire Microsoft account. So whenever you're talking internally with other staff, they can put a face to the name of who they're actually talking to, which is pretty useful and really good to be able to see there. with these resources, usually what I've linked these to, and I've just left the headings the same because it's not a big deal. They usually just go to different SharePoint document libraries or SharePoint pages, so that and they're specific to that person. So again, they're dynamic, built off the information that is all fed through from that very simple onboarding form. It's a nice, easy flow through from Microsoft Forms into Power Automate, where all of the initial account creation is done, and then into the end user experience where they start getting messages. They rock up on their first day and they've got their hardware assigned and ready to go. And with the advanced licenses here, you can do some stuff with endpoint protection. I don't have a license for it, so unfortunately I can't show you all the endpoint protection cool stuff that you can do in there. But basically you can assign a device directly to that person and have them automatically licensed, or you just license them yourself after that account has been created. And yeah, that's basically it. You can also output in this message here, which is something useful but very dangerous, what that person's password is. So you can get it from way up the top. So the submission time, you can basically write it in as it would be. So you would have like, your login password is, and it was last name, submission time. So that would literally output what their password is that they need to log in. And it would request that, you'd say after it, please change your password on your first login, something like that, so that they change their password and it's nice and easy for them to follow through with. So yeah, that's a basic example of Power Automate. It's not a super crazy piece of software, to be honest. It's not something that's like super hard to use or learn. It's just something that's a little bit different, but still pretty bloody cool, I reckon, because you can do so much with it within the Microsoft 365 suite of tools. As you've seen here, I'm gonna have a bit of water, so just bear with me 1 second. I'm losing my voice. Talk amongst yourselves. Oh, that feels good. All right. Yeah, as I was saying, it is a very useful tool to have within your suite of automation tools when doing things like onboarding new users and setting up new accounts and really basic stuff like that, because it is like so much easier. And this has quite literally automated part of people's jobs before that are quite repetitive and boring. So an example of where this has actually been used in a company, there's a client of mine that I go to that has a flow very similar to this one. And if I can get this camera to zoom in, then you'll actually be able to see me talking, which would be great. So with this, come on, zoom in. Let's get it. It doesn't want to do it, does it? I'm having the worst luck with cameras today. No deal. Oh well, doesn't matter. Anyway, so yeah, an example of this being used with actual clients is one of my clients that I go to fairly often. They already outsource a lot of their HR requirements, and this particular automation was built to make that person's job much, much easier, so that they didn't really have to do anything apart from fill out a form. And as long as they filled out that form correctly and it's all written as drop down so that they can't mess it up at all. Yeah, it was made literally for them to be completely foolproof so that it couldn't be stuffed up. There we go. We have one camera working. How good is that? So yeah, that's a basic automation on Power Automate. I don't really want to go into too many other Power Automate, things at the moment, or even Powerapps, because they do take a very, very long time to sort of go through and create different automations with. But yeah, it's a pretty powerful piece of software, and I would highly recommend you guys give it a try. Pretty cool though. I mean, that's awesome. It's so basic. Anyway, I might end the stream here because I've lost like half of my cameras in this stream. I've only got one working, and it's like the absolute worst camera. I think my USB dock thingy has finally shit the bed. So yeah, it's been fun talking with you all and having a chat. I'm gonna go and fix my cameras and stuff, and yeah, I might come back. But yeah, Ayo Micken says, wait a sec, did you leave ACT? Who the hell is ACT? Do you mean the state or the company? I've never worked at ACT before. So, yeah, no idea what you're talking about. But yeah, I'll catch you later, guys. Thanks for watching this stream. It's been fun as always, and I'll see you all on the next one. See you later.